Hola. Me llamo Kiki, and I'm an addict. Hey, everybody. Thank you, Free. Thank you, Free. You were so honest. So honest. I have a crew that I sponsor, and they have gotten so much better in the last couple of years that I'm so proud of them. But that's only HP working through me to help them. The first thing I want to tell you about today is a miracle that happened. I'm shaking like all the elder people do when they get up here, right? 3.5 years ago, I do a meeting in Fulton County Jail. I like H&I. Who liked H&I? And I have done H&I in my life since I've been here in this new world. And I do a meeting at Fulton County Jail. And there was this one lesbian lady. And she was so hardcore. And she'd come to my NA meetings. And she said, yeah, you're probably getting high out there, man. But she kept coming back to my meetings. So some she was liking. I hope it wasn't me. So as it turned out, she left Fulton County Jail and got sentenced and went to Harwick. And I told her to write me, and I would write her back, and I would sponsor her through the mail. And for 3 years, I sponsored this girl through the mail. And she is now at a Metro Diversion Center, and in 2 months she gets out. And Denise, stand up, baby. Give her applause. She got 3 days clean. 3 years clean. Y'all, I had to do that because the joy that my higher power has given me through that, I cry about it because it's so good. It just feels so good in spite of all the things that have been happening in my life this year. I don't want to talk a lot about. The second thing that I want to do before we get into me is I was supposed to introduce Margaret Friday, the speaker. She's a sponsor of mine and a best friend. Now, what happened was that I was on a 12-step call. I do not know why, but HP gave me 12 steps in 1 month. And I told him last night, can you give me layoff? And this particular individual has been in treatment 5 times in the last 1.5 years, so nobody wants to mess with him. How come we come in here and then we think that we don't give another person a chance just because they relapse 5 times? Who the hell do we think we are? It took me 10 years of coming in and out of this program before I finally surrendered. And I'm so glad they didn't give up on me. So I took this young man, and I tell you, I'm in the field working with HIV and substance abuse, so I got just a little bit of juice. But the negative force was trying to block this man from going to treatment. And he'd been calling me for 3 days, trying to get a bed. Let me tell y'all, I ain't doing no dope, because it's so hard to go in treatment now. It is so hard to get a bed, even in a state facility like Fulton County Treatment Center. Oh, Lord, I don't want to do dope. Just take me out before I do some dope. So, finally, the door opened, and it was at the same time that I was supposed to introduce Margaret. Now, Margaret is so special to me. And I was telling this guy, look, I'm supposed to be doing this, but I'm going to talk to HP and see what he says. So HP said, you stay here with him until you get a bed, because Margaret got 7 years almost, and everybody could introduce her. So I was sad, but I knew that I was doing the right thing. because it felt right in here. And that's how I live today. I live with what feels good in here. Not up here and not down here. But it wasn't always like that. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't always like that. I'm 7.5 years old, and I've been through the ringer in recovery. So I want to apologize to Margaret in public. I'm sorry I couldn't introduce you. I had a speech ready for you because you are so special to me. I have been sponsoring Margaret since I was 6 months in this program. When I was 6 months, when I came into this program, there was no Magna. There was the West End. If there was a Magna, it was a little bunch of white people somewhere. I was in the West End. The West End 12-step me through Fulton County Treatment Center in 86. And then, all of a sudden, all these people started coming, and more Aries became, and Magna became. And man, Magna got it going on. But let me tell you, the West End got it going on too. And it's been such a pleasure to just see people blossom. Can you imagine at 6 months trying to sponsor somebody? You don't know what the hell you're doing. How the hell are you going to tell somebody else what to do? But for a long time, she didn't call on a regular basis. But like Free said, no firing. I am not the type of sponsor that fires. I have a sponsor now that calls me every 3 months when she got a problem. And I just listen to her and say, uh-huh. When you went to a meeting late? Oh, no wonder. So anybody who asks me to be their sponsor, up to most recently, because I'm sick now, I have always said yes. Even if I said it in an arrogant way, like Free said. Because I am a little arrogant sometimes. As most of us in here are too. Some of us. Okay, so I'm sorry, Booby, and I love you. Let's see. I mean, my dope life was just like everybody else. I was a dope fiend. I went from a $300 prostitute to a $5 prostitute in the state of New York. I was a thief. I had a crew of forgery people. And we took money out of banks, out of other people's banks, galore. And it's only by God's grace that I'm not in prison serving life. Because we robbed Citibank thousands of dollars. Thousands of other people's money. We go in the back, get the garbage, get the account number, get dressed up real clean, and then go in the bank and say, I'd like to find out how much my account is, how much is available in my account. And you play the game. And they say so and so. Well, I'd like to cash this check, please. Deposit this, like $100, and give me like $4,000. And we did that for a very long time. And one day, the last day I did that, they were running and chasing me out of that bank. That I knew that I better stop going in them banks. They probably have a little picture of me up there in New York. I wouldn't dare go in Citibank in New York. So it's the same thing, I did it all, I was in a relationship with a man that I am married to now, and we shot dope together, we beat each other up. He beat my ass, but I gave him a run for his money. And, of course, I would always lose because, I'm small and he's a big dude, but, I mean, today when I think about how my life was, it almost seems like it's not true. But it is true. That was me. And I have a couple of pictures that remind me. So I don't want to talk a lot about, what was a dope dude. I was a victim of incest. My father molested me from the time I was 7 or 6 or whatever until I left his home and went to my grandmother's house at 15. Thank God he never penetrated me, just molested me by fondling me, but he destroyed me emotionally and got me very confused about what men were about, what I was about. I felt very, very cheap and low because there were times when he touched me that it excited me, and I thought I was so bad. I'm only human. So for many years, I carried that guilt that I was at fault because my father molested me. Today, I know that I was a child of God, and I was not at fault. Y'all stop clapping. Last year I went to New York. I've been to New York to see my father about 3 times in 7.5 years. He used to be my drinking buddy. See, after I got into the dope life, he became my drinking buddy because my father is an alcoholic. He's a functional alcoholic. Nevertheless, he's an alcoholic. He drinks only on weekends. And some people do it for years and years. My father's 60 and he's still doing it. And he works every day. But he's a dope fiend. I tell him all the time. He's an alcoholic, but last year I went to my father's house and we was talking like 2 grown adults, matured. My father has changed a lot since he had a heart attack. And my father said, he calls me Bolly. Bolly? We were talking about the mistakes that we have made in life, mine, and I was sharing my mistakes and how glad I am now that I'm living like this and how proud I am. And he was saying how proud he was of me and everything. And then he said, Bolly, when I was young and raising you, I did so many things that were wrong that I know that I need to ask for forgiveness for. He didn't say specifically what it was, but I knew what it was and he knew what it was. For the first time in my life, I could hug my father and get close to him without feeling scared that sexually he would try to touch me. Today, I can say, because I always loved my father. I just didn't like him for what he did. But I always used to send him Father's Day cards, because I loved my father. He was my father, my real father. And last year when that happened, after so many years in Narcotics Anonymous and a lot of therapy, because some of us are very sick and we need outside help now. Narcotics Anonymous gives us 12 steps and a new way of life. But we come in here with a package loaded so bad that we need professionals to get us straight. Especially when we stay in denial about things in life. And I'm really, really glad that happened. I came in this program. I'm going to tell you the last day that I used, and then we're going to start from there. Recovery. The last day that I used, I moved from New York down here. What they call it, geographical cure. It worked for me. And I came down here, and I want to shoot no more speedball. Because, see, I'm an old dope fiend. I'm the old heroin addict with the speedball, the methadone, and, the pills with the methadone in the wine, and, Boone's Farm, we used to call it New York. Boone's Farm. And so I was that kind of addict. So when I got to Georgia, I didn't want to do no more dope. So my husband, which at the time was my common law husband, and I said, we're going to Georgia to get clean. So when we got here, I was for real and he wasn't. So he abandoned me and my son. And he went back to New York and stayed gone for 5 years. And then I'll tell you what happened. And so and then when he left, I was already messed up, period. But when he left, I was like, why did he leave us like this? We had an apartment on Stewart Avenue, Cleveland Avenue, no air conditioner. In August it gets so hot down here. When you're coming from New York, you ain't never experienced this kind of heat. And we had one mattress in the bedroom and one sofa that we got from the garbage somebody threw out. And we had a sofa in the kitchen. Don't ask me why I had a sofa in the kitchen. Because I didn't have a table. So I found a sofa, so I put it in the kitchen. And look, I used to tell people, ain't my apartment cool, man? I got a sofa in the kitchen. You know, it's amazing how we thought that we had it going on. It's incredible. I used to get in the mirror. I weigh 105 pounds. And I would get in the mirror and say, smooth operator. And the only thing that was smooth about me was my flat ass. But we convinced ourselves that we was the one, that we had it going on. You know, people that didn't get high, they was, man, nerds, man. But now we know that people that get high are nerds. So the last day, okay, and then it was March 20th, 1986. And I was working. Now I have skills because I was in the Army for 4 years, and I have skills. But this disease tore me down so much that I had to work in a tomato factory, packing tomatoes. Can you imagine? Packing tomatoes in Georgia because that was a factory that people could drink. And I had stopped doing the dope, but I thought I was recovering, but I was only drinking moonshine. You know that didn't last too long. So I did that after he left for 1 year. And then my son, I found out that my son, he was little, you know, I was such a negligent mother from the time he was born until the time he was 8. And when we came to this program, we had to go get professional help because I didn't know who the hell that boy was. And he knew who I was, but what he knew about me wasn't good. So we both went to meetings. He had his meetings, I had my meetings, and we went to therapy. And I'm glad to say that today, my son and I have such a beautiful relationship. We were talking about condoms and oral sex the other day. He's 16 years old, and I don't want him to get infected. So I talked to him real explicit about protecting yourself from sex, you know, from infections. So this last day I found out that my son had been playing hooky from school for 30 consecutive days. He had a key. He was only like 6 or 7, and I gave him a key. You lock the door and go to school. I'm going to work. So I would leave earlier than him. So he would lock the door and go back in the bed and watch cartoons. Because he was a dope fiend too. Our children were products of what we were. We taught them that. So he was a little bad boy. He drove me crazy. And then he used to steal the letters that they used to put under the door. And for 30 days, I didn't find this out. One day I said, where's your report card? I haven't seen your report card in months. And then he looked at me kind of funny. And I said, I better go to school. When I went to the school, they told me, we have been trying to find you because we were going to turn your son into family and children services because you don't let him come to school. And I said, what you talking about? And then they told me that my son had been not in school for 30 days. And I didn't know it, y'all. That's how messed up I was with my disease, that I didn't know what my son was doing. So when they called him down, and when I looked at him, he looked bummy. And I looked bummy. My hair was long and real kinky and curly. We had like a Puerto Rican afro. And I had like a Puerto Rican afro, you know. And Puerto Rican afros, you know, you think you got it so you don't have to comb it because our hair is a little loose. So we just used to wet it and that's it. Keep going. And I used to say, and you know, the sisters and brothers used to say, oh, you have such nice hair. So what? They kept telling me that, so I kept. And then I took a look at myself and I said, something got to be done about this. You came down here to get clean. I went home and I didn't have no money. I didn't go to work that day. I didn't go to work that day because when I woke up, if I didn't have some liquor or a pill or something, I could not function. I had become a chronic alcoholic addict that needed chemicals to make me function. So I started digging all around the house for pennies and nickels and quarters until I found me enough to buy me some kind of wine or liquor or beer or whatever. And then I had a little black and white TV that somebody had given me. Oh, this guy, this old man, now I know he was my what do you call him? Sugar daddy, yeah. He had just gotten divorced. He had just gotten separated from his wife, and he was drinking too. So we met somewhere, and then he said, why don't we get an apartment together? And, of course, don't free me. Yeah. You know, we pay half and half the rent, but I was going to say he was going to pay all the rent. So I hooked up with Harold McKee. Oops. But he's not an addict, wherever he is, anyway. So he went to work, and I didn't. And he wouldn't give me no money. And he wasn't as sick as I was. He could function still and go to work and then come home and drink. So I went through the house looking for pennies. There was a little TV, and it was Peachford Hospital. It said, if you need help, just call Peachford. So I had the money, and I got a quarter, and I got the money. Didn't brush my teeth, didn't comb my hair, nothing. Just came from the school looking wild, and I had my army raincoat. And I don't remember what I had up under it. Probably some bloody pants, because when I used to shoot up, all the blood used to be in my clothes. And I didn't buy me clothes. I had to wear dirty stuff over and over. I was a bum. I was a lowlife in the state of New York, and when I first got here. And then I went to the liquor store, and I told the man knew me, and he knew I was real sick. I said, give me the highest proof of anything you got with this amount of money. But it got to be high proof. You know, a high amount. So he gave me something, I don't know what it was, and then I saved a quarter, and I went outside to the phone booth, and I said, I'm going to drink this, and then I'm going to treatment. Now, I had been in treatment for 10 years, in and out, because I was introduced to Narcotics Anonymous in 1976. So in 1986, I knew about Narcotics Anonymous, but I was telling myself, they full of shit. They doing dope. This just a cult. I thought that Narcotics Anonymous was a cult. And I had a cult of my own because Puerto Ricans get into the santerismo and this stuff, and it was messed up. So I called Peachford, and I said, yes, my name is so-and-so, and I'm a veteran. Somehow I thought that because I was a veteran, the world owed me something. I didn't even go to Vietnam. I went overseas, but I didn't go to Vietnam. But I just thought that the Army owed me something when I got out. And I came out of the Army with an honorable discharge by the grace of God, because He was always looking out for me. My higher power, who I call Jesucristo, Jesus Christ, has protected me all of my life. And I know that now, and I feel it. And I see it in my life. And then the lady said, well, you got to have $10,000 or Blue Cross or Blue Shield. And I said, and I'm like, and excuse the word, because I promised I wasn't going to curse, but I said, bitch, if I had $10,000, I wouldn't be calling you. So then she gave me the number for the state facility that would take me, Fulton County Treatment Center. So I went home with that number, still feeling hopeless. What am I going to do? And see, I had gotten a little gig first at the VA, but my ego, I got fired from the VA. I was a housekeeper there. And I didn't get fired. I didn't go to work. And I knew they were going to fire me. See, I used to not go to work, and then I knew they were going to fire me, so I'd never go back. Because I didn't want to get fired. I wanted to say, I quit. Ego. So, I didn't want to go to the VA hospital because I could have went there for free. I knew that, but my ego said, no, don't let them people know, what's going on with you. So I took the number and I took the bottle, and it was raining, and I had no hat or nothing. And I walked, and I carried that bottle like it was the most precious thing that I ever had in my life. And I was so scared that I would drop it because, I had the shakes real bad. And I was so scared that I would drop it. I was just like, God, don't let me drop this bottle, because I can't live without it. And when I got home, I used to live in darkness, shades down, curtains up, closed, no light. I didn't like light. And when I got home, I fell down on my knees and I said, Jesus, can't you see what I'm doing to myself? And I still feel that pain, and I love it, because that's why I'm still clean today. Because I cannot forget the pain that day when I got on my knees and I said, Jesus, can't you see what I'm doing to me? And it was like something went through me. And of course I drank the bottle. And then I put some clothes on, and then I called my baby's father, and I told him, you better come get your son, because I'm going in treatment, because I'm messed up. I'm in treatment, I'm going messed up. If you don't come get him, they're going to take him from us. And thank God they never took him from us, and they should have, because I was so negligent. So then I went to treatment at Fulton County Treatment Center, and I had no identity. When I got to Georgia, I noticed there was no Puerto Ricans here. So I said, well, I better tell them I'm a black Puerto Rican. So I have this, there's this afro, and living in the streets of New York, you know how to talk, you know how to do it, So everybody was saying, like, where you from? From New York, man. So I have always been able to just be in with the African-American population, the minority population. So I figured I better say I'm an African-American Puerto Rican, or black Puerto Rican at the time. You know how we change our names? First you were black, first you was colored, then black, then people of color. Now you people of color. And that's the same thing for Puerto Ricans, Hispanics, Latinos, Boricuas. It's the same thing. So I went in there, and they reintroduced me to NA. But I was for real. I was determined. He came down. He picked up my son. He left. And I went. And from that day on, I went to a meeting. Let me tell you, when I came to this program in 86, the West End had 11 women, minorities, and about 20 men, or maybe it was a little bit of us. But they were looking good. And they were telling us that we could stay clean. And I saw them out there, cold on and cars and shit. I said, ooh, I want some of that. Like most of us did. We got attracted because of the beauty that we saw. And then I said, but I can't live without dope. And I went to a meeting, the paycheck meeting that we have here on Friday. And I was talking, and when I used to share about myself at that point, I used to share myself. I'm such a bitch. I'm such a this. I'm such a that. I was just so down on me. And this brother that I love him, he told me, please stop calling yourself that. It's over now. And from that day on, I stopped calling myself, a bitch and all that stuff. And I shared it, and I said, but I don't know, how am I going to stop doing dope and stay stopped? And somebody said, I remember who it was, somebody said, if you don't pick up, you don't get high. I said, oh, shit. Ain't nobody never told me that before. And they said, because it's your choice. See, it's your choice. That's how you do not do dope. And then I said, but do not do dope for the rest of my life? Nah, sister. Don't do dope just for today. And I went, because I knew that I could do it for one day. But my track record said that I could not stay stopped. Because I've been to treatment centers. I went through every VA treatment center in the state of New York City. It was a game already. I used to go into treatment to clean up the body, so when I come back out, I could feel dope. That's the real. And so I started my journey into recovery. We all worked step one when we came into this program. Some people surrendered the dope and didn't surrender other things. And I did that too. So I was a thief. So I figured, well, I'm clean, but I can still steal. And then I didn't want to prostitute anymore. I didn't want to prostitute. But the money, I said, I know what I'll do. I won't prostitute in the rooms, but I'll prostitute with the earth people. And then, at some point, after a year in this program, doing that felt so dirty in here that I had to surrender it. I couldn't do it no more after like a year and a half. But I kept stealing because I have always wanted to get over. There is no getting over, y'all. What goes around comes around. I have experience in recovery. You don't get over on nobody or nothing. something will come back to you when you steal from somebody or you hurt somebody. So I came in here and I surrendered. Oh, what a relief to get up in the morning and not have to reach over for a syringe or something. What a relief that was. That was the happiest year of my life. And that year was given to me free by HP. And Narcotics Anonymous gave me step 2 because they gave me hope. Because, you know, the little bit of people that was here, they was looking good. I was the only Puerto Rican. And by the way, it's about time y'all make a Puerto Rican speaker in this town. About time. I've been talking shit for years about they never asked no Puerto Ricans to do nothing, but I'm the only Puerto Rican in the program. Well, we had some other Puerto Ricans in Georgia, but they wouldn't stay down, man. And I just wanted to make them stay down. Come on, stay down, y'all. You Ricans, man, like me. They wouldn't do it, man. They wasn't ready. They wasn't ready. And it hurt me a lot because I was controlling, you know. So I don't even know where they are now, and I hope that God is protecting them. But I'm still the only Puerto Rican, and there's another Puerto Rican brother here, and another Puerto Rican sister, and she has an identity. She thinks she's a black Puerto Rican too. But we're working on her. So when I got out, and finally, they said that one of the things I never did when I came in and out of the program was get into step studies or the steps. I'm telling you all, the principles, the 12 principles of Narcotics Anonymous is what's going to make your life good if you practice them. You either practice the principles or you practice doping behavior. You could be clean in here and be miserable because you're still a dope fiend. And we all go through that journey at some point. At least I have. And I have seen my sponsors also. My HP has my agenda. My recovery is none of my business. It is his business. All I have to do is follow his will. But it took me time to do that. I did not do that overnight. I didn't do it in 2 years or 3 years. It took. But today, I can tell you, for the last 2 years, I have tried with every power, every energy to live God's will. And life has been so beautiful to me. Look, lately, my HP bought me a house. And look, I'm not only an addict, I'm an infected HIV addict. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that because we need to get off the pity pot. And we need to take good care of ourselves because if we were going to die, we would have died out there in the street. And, you know, you see people progressing in the program and I always used to say, God, one day I want a house. Because my son always used to say, Mom, we need to get a house so I can have a dog. And I said, son, one day we have a house. God is going to give us a house. You'll see. He said, yeah. You know, because at first he didn't believe me. But then when we started going through treatment and meetings, then we both started recovery. So most recently, my HP blessed me with a house. And look, when I pressed to open the garage door, I get so excited. It's so exciting. Not only did he give me a house, he gave me 1 acre of land. I didn't do that. My credit didn't do that because I messed up my credit. I'm going to tell you about that in a minute. Okay, so then the third year is the year that we think we know it all. The third year, we either LA police or we got it, you know, 30, 40, I can remember that I thought I knew everything, and I didn't know nothing. My 34th year, I can remember, I just thought I had it going on in Narcotics Anonymous, and I have arrived. And you do not arrive in this program. It is a journey until death do us part. And I know that today. So, finally, I surrendered my stealing, and I started to get more blessings because I started to practice more principles. I have been in a book study every year since I've been in Narcotics Anonymous. And today, I am conducting a book study with my sponsees, and we have a ball. Gut-level honesty. Cleaning this out. This is filthy, y'all. It's filthy. And then sometimes we come in here, and then we put more filth in it. And I got tired of the filth. So a little bit at a time, let's get rid of the filth. Let's get rid of the filth. But because I'm not perfect, when I was 5 years old, my baby's father decided to come visit. Now, y'all, I have loved this man every day of my life since I met him, 17 years. And when he came, he wasn't shooting dope, but he was drinking liquor. And he was working, had a good job, making good money. And he told me, we should get back together, and I'll send you all the money. Because he used to be a logger, so he traveled, he made good money, send me all the checks. So, you know me, I'm going to go for that. So, and I loved him. I really love him, but I can't stand his guts. I'm telling you the truth. I love my husband, but I don't like him. I don't like him. But I love him, and I married him. Because that's what I thought my higher power wanted me to do. If I want to live right, then I need to be married. Not shacking up or all that crap. And so I decided that I'm going to get back with my husband, the father of my baby. And my son has always loved his father. He wanted his father back so bad. And when the opportunity came, I had to give it to him. But I just didn't do it for him. I ain't going to lie. I did it for me too. And I did it for the money. And I did it. And I did it. And I did it. And I did it because I loved him. I really loved him. I really loved him. And we have a good chemistry. But personalities, boom, we crash. So, today, he's around the program. See, some of us are in the program, trying to learn the 12 steps, trying to do what the 12 steps and the basic text and your sponsor tells you to do. Call an addict, go help another addict, to do. Some of us are just around the program, getting dressed up, coming into the meeting 5 minutes before it's getting ready to, 5 minutes before the meeting ends. Some of us are in here, and some of us are around here. Well, I want to take my husband's inventory, but he's around here. So, of course, like many of you did, I had to fix my husband. He was still dressing like the 60s. So, I had established credit. Can you imagine me having a checkbook? And then, let me tell you, we have our own journey to go, but you could see other people going through things, and you could take their experience and not do it yourself, or you could go ahead and do it yourself. But one thing that I did take is that I had a friend that I loved very much, a couple of friends. They had credit cards, and they just credit card their ass bankrupt. And I had a fear that would happen to me. I had a fear, so I would never just use the credit card and pay right up. Because I had a fear because I saw what they went through. I saw the pain they went through. So that was my biggest fear, and that experience from someone else I took, and I still take. But this one particular time, I didn't take it. I wanted my man to have a car. Not just a car, but a Maxima. So, now this is a person that's still drinking. But this addict said, that's denial. Let me show you denial. I said, well, maybe he's not like me. Maybe he can drink sociably and still be okay. I know I'm an addict. Now, we talking about the same man we shot dope 10 years ago. But denial told me that maybe he would do it, because at that point he wasn't ready to surrender. And I was taking the package any way it came. Okay? For love, for money, for greed, for my son, for a bunch of reasons. So, with my credit, we purchased a car. 1 month after we purchased a car under my name, Homeboy gets a DUI and gets locked up. And I cannot pay 2 car notes because at that point, my HP had blessed me with a car too. A brand new car. Ain't he beautiful? HP is wonderful. Just get a relationship with him. He's my ace boom coon, man. Today, I can tell you, man, my son, he be looking at me. He thinks I'm crazy. I said, come on, HP, let's go. That's what I did this morning. Come on, let's go. Speak through me to help someone. Don't let me get up there and tell lies and stuff because you don't have to. Enough insanity happens in your life for you to make up stuff. So, sometimes we make up stuff. So, okay, so I messed up my credibility, and then 2 weeks later, because of the overcrowding, they sentenced him to a year. So I said, well, let me take the car back, volunteer, repossession, thank you, baby. And I took the car back, and then 2 weeks later, he gets out. Now, Homeboy is scared, and he's talking about, I really, really want to get clean now. I really want to get clean. I want to go in treatment. He goes in treatment, he gets clean, and he tries this program. And he's going through what I went through. And for some reason unknown, I just won't give up on him. But let me tell you something. I never lost my identity since I've been with that man. I am the same Kiki that I was when I first got clean, and my sponsees and friends can tell you. We have a dysfunctional relationship, and I don't want to get into it, but we have a dysfunctional relationship, and sometimes I am treated not nice. I'm not beat on, but see, sometimes in relationships you could abuse each other emotionally and mentally so bad. Sometimes I wish when that happens that somebody just goes slap me. Don't mess up my mind. It's already messed up. And don't mess up in here. I'm already, full of stuff. So, but because I have such a good relationship with HP, I really can say honestly that me and Jesus Christ, we have such a good relationship. Without him, I wouldn't be here alive. So, I always thought that I was HIV because the numbers in New York, they were real high. So, I used to tell my friends, I think I'm HIV, but I wouldn't go get tested. So then, God blessed me early on the program. After 1 year, he gave me a job working in for the state of Georgia. Okay? Now, I was convicted with felonies. And how come the state of Georgia accepted me? Because HP is the one. So I got this job, and, when I did dope in New York, we didn't talk too much about AIDS, and I ain't got AIDS, man, and we shared needles and all the things, It was the beginning of AIDS at that time, and we did it. And a lot of us got infected. And I did. And I kind of knew it in my heart. Being infected is something you know inside. So if something's bothering you in here about HIV, go get tested. Either you are or you're not. If you are, then you learn how to take better care of yourself so you can live. Because you can live a happy, productive life infected with HIV. My higher power told me it's not over till it's over. And most recently, I have a tumor in my uterus. And the virus is attacking my nervous system. Now, it really doesn't bother me, but it bothers everybody else. They'd be saying, why are you shaking like that? I wish y'all would shut up. The virus is affecting my nervous system. And so I shake sometimes, and I look very nervous, but I feel real calm in here, y'all. Let me tell you, I'm real calm in here. So don't worry about me, because I'm doing real good in here. And I found that I had a tumor, and the doctor said, you got to have an operation. I went last week. So I didn't get upset about it. Everybody was upset about it. I wouldn't, because I knew HP was going to take care of it. He's been taking care of me all this time. Why would I think he wouldn't do this now? I was doing so much service work, I knew it was not time for me to go. But when I went to the doctor, When I went to the doctor, she told me, she said, you will not make it through surgery if I operate. Because your T4 is down kind of low, and if I do surgery, you might convert into full-blown AIDS. Because there's the difference, you all. And we get very upset when you say two things. That we got AIDS when we only got HIV, and that we got the package. That is a disgrace for you to say to an HIV person that they got the package. We ain't got no package. We got the results. We got the results of sharing needles, just like some of you all just got lucky, and we didn't. So if you are not infected, and you was a prostitute or a whore, you better thank God you're not infected. And that goes for the men too. That goes for the men too. That goes for the men too. Because we have more women in the world than men. And some men have 4 and 5 women. And they don't use no rubber. Okay? But at the beginning, when I found out, I was angry. Because I said, damn, HP, why you didn't cut me some slack, man? You know, I couldn't understand why he didn't cut me no slack with this HIV bit. But I figured, well, there must be some work that I have to do. And then I put it together. He put me to work with HIV, doing outreach. Then I went in 89 and took the test. I got scared, never went back for the results. Last year, I became symptomatic. And then I went, because I work in the office, I went real early in the morning. I still had my little anonymous number. I went in the office that has all the books, and I looked, and there was no Hispanic listed. I said, but I took the test this year, 89, November. So I said, they must have listed me either African American or white. So there were a few people, black and white, that were. So then I looked at the number when I went down. When I saw my number, it was positive. I thought the world left me. It's a feeling that I can never tell you about. It's just a feeling left me. But I went in my office and I said, and I cried and I was angry at HP. And I said, why you didn't cut me no slack, man? I've been doing the right thing. But this is the results that I get. For doing that, man. Some of us got it, some of us don't. And if you don't have it, man, you're so lucky. You're so lucky. So stop talking about us that have it. Okay? Just thank God you don't have it. Just help us, because we need just a little bit more love. It's not that we're unique. It's that we have two diseases kicking our ass. And we just need that little extra love. So, since I got the virus, at first I was on a pity pot. Then I was like, this ain't going to work. Poor little old me. That was just making my spirit was beginning to deteriorate. And I didn't want my spirit to deteriorate because I had been working on my spirituality, on helping people. Spirituality to me is helping people, cleaning your insides. Not down there, over here. You know, helping other people, practicing the 12 steps. Actually trying to practice those principles, honesty. Still today, a couple of lies slip out my mouth. And I said, who said that? But if I keep practicing all the years, I've become better and better and better and better. And we have one person that introduced us to this worksheet that somebody else, another addict from another state, gave it to her. Then she gave it to us. And then we started spreading it around. And then a lot of us started getting better. Because we started actually doing the work. You got to work. It works if you work it. And they don't mean in the bed. Okay? You have to really get into these steps if you want to be comfortable and if you want to be happy in recovery. So I figured I ain't going to be in no pity pot. It ain't over till it's over. So I started, it was a coincidence that some of my sponsees were HIV. And I knew. That's why he sent me them. But at the time, I didn't know I was HIV. So when they came to me, since I didn't know I had HIV, I knew it, but I wasn't, diagnosed yet. I would tell them, well, you need to call so-and-so, baby, because I don't have no experience with that. Because, see, when I don't have experience with something, I don't tell you something. You know, I don't have no experience. I refer you to somebody else that I know got it. So, and then at that point, we said, now we know why we're all together, okay? It's some of us. I decided to get married 2 years ago after the car incident because I feel that my higher power has a way of life that consists of those principles. And if you live in those principles, then you have to do the right thing. Not sometimes, but all the time. You got to try every day to try. Every day you won't do them. But if you try, that's good enough. And so I keep trying, and I'm getting better. I feel it. I feel it in my soul. I'm getting better. And then I went to the doctor. How much time I got? Took it too much? I went to the doctor, and I went to a surgeon. Because, you know, I have people that have been in the program here a long time, and I have a friend. She's a nurse. This dope fiend became a nurse after she got in here. All right? So a lot of us have gotten degrees and have become really respectable professionals after being dope fiends. And some of us are still trying to sell clothes out the trunk. And you know what? And you know what else? Some of us have the audacity to deal dope in Narcotics Anonymous. When I heard in this state that people were dealing dope, I said to myself, ooh, I wish somebody would come to me and say, you want some dope? Because I got lots of friends. And I would say, I'll be right back with the money, baby. And I go get my friends. And I sit on that mother hoover until I get the police. So if you're dealing dope, you better stay away from me because I'm turning your ass in. And then they don't do dope, and then they help me kill other people. God spared our miserable lives, and we have the audacity to stay clean and then help people die? It wasn't like that when I came into this program, man. It wasn't like that. They have brought so much into this program that doesn't belong here. Why don't y'all keep that out there, man? Keep it out there. This program is already made up. It doesn't need to be made up again. Even though some of us are NA police. Some of us, you know, are experts. It's all in here. And the principles that go in the 12 steps. And that is what we have to learn. Thank you, baby. I like when I get excited, you know. And, so anyway, I went to the doctor. I'm losing my memory a little bit. Except when it comes to money. So my husband told me that I have convenient amnesia. Because I don't forget about no money. But I don't know why I just forget things, you know. But I have friends to remind me. Like Miss Margaret reminded me to apologize in public today. And it's okay. Because she's the one that's always reminding me about things. Because I forget. I have to tell people, if you tell me to do a meeting, you got to call me the day before, the day in the morning, and 2 hours before. Because the virus is affecting my memory and my nervous system. I have never been on antivirals. I believe that HP and a couple of aspirins and a couple of herbs. I'm into herbs. I go to the health store, right? This herb is for the stomach, and this herb is for the eye, and this herb is for this, and I make my teas, and I drink them, and I believe in them, and they work. Now, sometimes I have to take medicine. Sometimes I even have to take narcotics. But I use them as prescribed. And that's why I have not gone back out. I have 2 special friends this year that are HIV that went back out. And now, because they went back out to do dope, they're doing real bad. If you're infected, it's okay. Just don't do no dope. Don't do no dope. It's going to be all right. For me, dying has to be the best thing because that means that I'm going home. So I don't fear death, but it's just a burden to have addiction and this virus kicking your butt all the time. Sometimes it's unbearable, but sometimes we have good days too. Sometimes I get up, oh, I feel so good today. Look, I'm not shaking or nothing. So those days I just tell God, thank you, thank you, thank you. And the days that I'm shaking, I just roll with the punches. Same thing with my disease of addiction. Sometimes I practice being a dope fiend, sometimes I don't. But I try my best so that I can live happy. And in spite of what's going on in my home, I'm happy. I prayed myself in that relationship, and I'll pray myself out. My girlfriends are so concerned about, the way they treat you, blah, blah, blah. I ain't worried about it. As long as he don't put his hands on me. And I keep praying. He's going to be gone soon. And I'm going to say married. Because somebody got to collect Social Security. And I know that my higher power has a lot of work for me to do down here as it pertains to addiction and HIV. I know it. Can you believe that HP gave me 12 steps to do in 1 month? This morning, I told him, Lord, please, can I go on layoff? 12 steps in 1 month? And I had to do them. I had to do it, even though it was people that didn't even hear out. I had to do it. Because it took me 10 years to get here. So how can I tell somebody, you've been in here before, go to hell, find your own place. I couldn't do it. They came to me. I didn't go to them. I didn't go to them. You need treatment? They came to me. They called me. And God helped me put them in treatment. And then, when I told God that, what happened? And it's funny how God works. Because my husband's brother called him up. My husband went to New York to tell his brother how about Nene and how good Nene is. And he's around the program, N.A. and ooh for N.A. And look, his brother called him up the other day and told him, I'm coming over there so you could help me get into N.A. He's going to have to get in now. That's his 12th step. That's not my 12th step. You see? So that's why I don't worry about nothing. I don't worry about nothing. As long as I have something to eat, a bed to sleep in, and a job, and somebody that I could call that loves me. I have so many people that love me. Thank you for loving me, you all. Thank you. Because I'm a difficult person. Thank you for loving me so much. I cry because you all love me so much. You all love me so much, I cry. I said, why they love me so much? They fight over me, my friends. And I love them, and I'll do anything for them. And I think I'm through. I just want to say that this program really works. Get into a book study. Tell your sponsor, do you know about the principles and the steps? If she doesn't, tell her, let's go find somebody that does, and let's learn. If you don't have a sponsor, get a sponsor. If you're sponsoring yourself, you're in big trouble. Don't depend on yourself, baby. We are addicts trying to get better. If you are depending on yourself, you're going to fall in recovery. You're going to go to jail in recovery. I love you, and God loves you too.